everybody, it is time to get back to football. In the next 30 minutes, we will talk Colts training camp alongside Jason Penske and Christina Aguayo. I'm Drew Ammon. Christina, let's talk first about July 23rd. That's when the players got a chance to report to camp, and it was a festive atmosphere. Reggie Wayne rolling in the Indy car.
Absolutely. That was probably the highlight of the whole day. Rolled on through, jumped out, ready to go. And in fact, when he took the field, the crowd went crazy every time he caught the ball. I want to take a step back, though, and talk about some of his entrances. He came in one year in a dump truck, a military Humvee, a helicopter, so he always seems to outdo himself. As for Andrew Luck, he came in, as always, all smiles, happy to be here, and overall it was just a really great day.
We all know he loves football so much. It's going to be fun to watch him here in his third year, and Reggie Wayne, certainly the people out here love number 87. Let's go back to last year. Jason, 11-5 record for the Colts.
When you look at last year, really the story of 2013, it was a season of big wins by the Indianapolis Colts. They beat the three teams that were considered the best teams in football during the regular season: Seattle at home, San Francisco on the road, and then the biggest win of the regular season, beating Peyton Manning in his return to Indianapolis. As Drew mentioned, an 11-5 season, a great come-from-behind win over Kansas City in the playoffs, followed by a tough loss at New England that told everybody there's still a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, tough to lose to Tom Brady and company out there in New England. Let's talk about another quarterback, the aforementioned Andrew Luck. And number 12, yeah, he's put up some numbers in his first two seasons. Nearly 8,200 yards passing. Andrew Luck has the utmost respect from teammates. They know it's about much more than his record-setting numbers.
Andrew works for greatness and perfection.
He has that aura around him that he's a superb leader.
Andrew Luck has that presence, that it factor, that ability to bail out his team in the fourth quarter. And it appears he'll only get better with help from veterans like Ahmad Bradshaw and Reggie Wayne.
It's fun to be around. I think when you're around good players all the time, it makes you better. It forces you to step your game up.
Luck tries to do that in year 3 of his NFL career. How has the QB evolved? Maybe Wayne sums it up best.
He hasn't changed. You know, he came in loving the game of football, you know, wanting to be the best, wanting to do everything he could to help the team win, and it's still the same way.
It's a consistent approach that mirrors 5-time MVP Peyton Manning. Make no mistake, we're far from any Luck-Manning comparison, but consider this high praise for Luck from a 6-year Pro Bowl receiver.
He's worthy of being the first pick of the draft. He's worthy of, replacing an all-time great. He knows his offense.
That offense took a major hit October 20th when Reggie tore his ACL. T.Y. Hilton had to take the lead role in the receiving corps, and he turned in a 1,000-yard season. But what a difference for Luck with Reggie on the field again.
Real happy he's back, because when he's on the field, you learn a lot more from him in a sense than when he's off, and he's such a great presence, for all the guys, young or old, on this team.
This team, now 2 years in with Luck under center, has produced back-to-back playoff trips and a mind-boggling 16-2 record in games decided by one score. Quarterback to the rescue, no one has been better than Luck his first 2 seasons. Andrew has 8 fourth-quarter comebacks and 11 game-winning drives. Andrew Luck, the former Stanford star. All right, let's switch gears and go back to Reggie Wayne, a guy who was injured in the Denver game this past season, Christina.
Absolutely, and as we mentioned before, he walked out of that Indy car the first day of practice, and he said he was ready to go full speed ahead, and despite suffering that injury last year. Now, Reggie suffered the torn ACL on October 20th against the Broncos and didn't play the rest of the 2013 season. The 6-time Pro Bowl wide receiver has recovered in a big way. The timing looks good between number 87 and quarterback Andrew Luck. And even when Wayne isn't the go-to receiver on a play, his presence alone is huge for the Colts offense.
I've done everything that I've wanted to do. I've run every route. I'm here. I'm, knock on wood, I stay on top of this and keep going from there.
It's really remarkable. But again, it doesn't probably shock anybody here, or certainly doesn't shock me. We all know his mindset and his work ethic and his determination and how bad he wanted to get back.
Now, Wayne didn't miss a game since his rookie year, 2001, before suffering that injury against the Broncos. He still caught 38 passes for 500 103 yards and scored 2 touchdowns.
So many different offensive weapons that Pep Hamilton and Chuck Pagano can go to in this Colts offense. Let's talk about another right now, Dwayne Allen.
Certainly great to have Reggie Wayne back on the field for the Indianapolis Colts, but every now and then you'll hear actually someone say perhaps the most important player returning to this Colts offense is tight end Dwayne Allen. In week number 1 last season, Allen caught a touchdown pass from Andrew Luck, and the Colts went on to beat the Raiders at Lucas Oil Stadium. Then the former Clemson star missed 15 games with a hip injury. Allen told reporters early in camp that once he was sidelined, the scope of the Indy offense changed significantly. Pep Hamilton is extremely excited to see what he can put back into the offense now that the Colts can go back to putting Allen and fellow tight end Coby Fleener on the field at the same time. So the potential of this offense to be so diverse really exists.
And it's cool because you can line up Dwayne Allen at fullback as well. So a lot of different components to this Colts offense to look forward to. All right, much more coming up. Jason's got a story about the running backs, obviously hit by the injury bug yet again early on. We'll talk more about that next when Back to Football continues here from Anderson. Our 30-minute special continues alongside Jason Penske and Christina Aguayo. I'm Drew Amma. Jason, let's talk about the running backs.
Yeah, the big theme for the running backs for the Indianapolis Colts is bouncing back from injuries, and in one case, bouncing back from a very disappointing 2013. Trent Richardson is hoping for better things in 2014. He says he was thinking too much during a disappointing season of a year ago.
So is this the time when your football instinct now is ready to take over?
Oh, yeah, man, because, time like this, you get to be around your team. You get to build a union and get to be a unit with each other, and you get this time in. I feel like my time was so off from everybody last year.
The Colts gave up plenty to get Richardson, who's hungry to show the team the cost was worth the reward.
I know exactly what I need to know, what everybody's doing on the field, and it takes time for that. I still got guys come up to me and ask me what the plays, and they've been here longer than me, and certain stuff. So, I feel good about myself when it comes to learning new playbooks, learning the new system.
Ahmad Bradshaw was among the injured 1 year ago and is counting on being healthy and contributing the way the franchise thought he would when he came to the Colts after a successful stint with the Giants. One player the Colts won't have available once again, Vic Ballard, out for the season after an Achilles injury. He missed most of last season as well.
Oh, man, it's heartbreaking. You know, it's heartbreaking for me, man. You know, Vic's a brother to me. And, I was taking pride in helping him out a whole lot and trying to improve both our games, and helping each other, and him and Trent also. So, it's just heartbreaking for me to see that happen.
One nice thing for the Colts is that you have a group of running backs that, individually speaking, are very hungry to prove some people wrong from what was written 1 year ago.
Yeah, we'll see how much it will be running back by committee this season, led by head coach Chuck Pagano. Meantime, let's talk about the offensive line, and obviously that's a huge source of concern, trying to protect Andrew Luck.
Right, now that was an area that was a huge issue last year and continues to be an issue this year with more injury. We'll step back to last year when the Colts lost Donald Thomas against the Dolphins just 2 games into the season. Thomas tore his quad in week 2, and that abruptly ended his season after little more than 7 quarters of football. We see it again this year. Practice number 6, Thomas goes down, same injury, torn quad. As for the rest of the O-line crew, it's looking to erase this frustrating stat. Andrew Luck was 8th in the league in sack rate last year.
We're a close-knit group, and I think that helps, when it comes to games and trusting each other and having, holding each other accountable.
Coaches are pretty high on the different options they can go to when it comes to players on the interior line.
And one such player hoping to make the Colts roster this year as an undrafted player is in-state product FN Lutz. He played his college football for Indiana State, helping the Sycamores go from the team with the longest losing streak in the country to a top 25 team. Just like he was at Indiana State, he considers himself to be in this training camp a big underdog.
What's your biggest challenge?
Just getting the offense down for right now. I feel like I can do it. I know I can do it as far as physically and, get the footwork, that kind of stuff. But just getting the plays down for me right now.
You said you know you can do it. What's it like knowing you can do it but wanting other people to see you can do it?
Yeah, like I said, right now you can't. It's hard to go 100% when you have to think all the time. If you can react, you'll play better. You'll play faster. So getting the plays down will help me out a lot.
Never easy, though, to make an NFL roster as an undrafted player.
No question about it. Let's transition now to the red zone efficiency and third down conversion. Those are 2 sources of concern for the Indianapolis Colts this year. Chuck Pagano and Andrew Luck have talked a lot about that of late. Andrew Luck talking about how the Colts were in the middle of the pack among NFL teams in those categories last year. Coach Pagano says if Indy gets 1 or 2 more third downs per game, his team will be ranked in the top 5 in third down situations. As much as they can rely on Adam Vinatieri, who's been in the league for 2 decades, Pagano's frustrated by the way Indy had to settle for so many field goals in 2013. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about the new folks in camp. And let me tell you, some of these newcomers, they are hungry, including Jonathan Newsom, the first Ball State player ever drafted by the Indianapolis Colts. That's next as Back to Football continues. Welcome back to our 30-minute special, Back to Football, alongside Jason Penske and Christina Aguayo. I'm Drew Ammon. And Christina, you got a chance to catch up with several of the newcomers here in camp.
Now, even though the Colts didn't get a first-round draft pick, that doesn't mean their draft class isn't strong. In fact, they may be looking to a couple of rookies to step in to some key roles.
With the 59th overall pick, the Colts selected Jack Mewhort, an O-lineman from Ohio State. And as it turns out, he may have been their most important draftee.
The team did take a hit to the O-line. Donald Thomas is out for the remainder of the season with a torn quad, which means Mewhort may see some early playing time.
He's going to require season-ending surgery. He'll go to IR. Donald worked, just like Vic, extremely hard to get back. And feel awful for Donald.
He goes out there with a chip on his shoulder every day, and he competes and he plays hard, through the whistle. And that's one thing I really admire about him. And like I said, it's very unfortunate just because he was having such a great camp, and he's a heck of a player.
So the Colts' next man up philosophy puts Mewhort in position to start on the left side. Next round, wide receiver Dante Moncrief out of Ole Miss.
He's been a pleasant surprise. Dante. He's a welcome addition to our offensive unit. Another big, fast, strong, smart player that should be able to help our quarterback to make big plays and throw touchdowns.
There's just a lot going on this camp, my first camp. So I'm just getting used to everything. Changed position, so I'm in a new position, learning Z right now. So just being behind T.Y. and watching Reggie and just learning everything from there.
Moncrief will join an experienced receiving corps. T.Y. Hilton keeps the #1 spot. Reggie Wayne is back in action, and Luck has a new set of hands with Hakeem Nicks. But whenever the team needs a fourth target, the 6'2" Mississippi native will get a chance to prove himself on the big stage.
Just to catch all the coaches' eyes and get some respect from our players and get a lot of respect from Andrew so he can trust me to make big plays.
And he's smart enough to know the hard work starts before he even hits the practice field.
The playbook's huge. There's a lot to learn, but once you learn it, it makes things much easier.
Round 5 brings a defensive force, a pass rusher with explosive tackling abilities, former Ball State standout Jonathan Newsome. And this defensive end brings with him confidence and passion for the game.
Talking is over, playtime over. I'm just ready to get to it, get these pads on, show what I can do out here, help build this foundation, get ready to go on the Super Bowl run.
High expectations for an athlete that may actually get the opportunity to impact the team in his rookie season. Robert Mathis is out for the first 4 games, and head coach Pagano says Newsome has been incredibly impressive in camp. The 6'3", 247-pounder feels there's no better place for him to be.
I was comfortable. I got real comfortable soon, and the guys on the team really brought me in, and I already feel part of the family.
Now, Newsome was a force at Ohio State. He was a force at Ball State. So it should be interesting to see how much they'll use him in those first 4 games without Mathis.
Yeah, they really might need him. The Colts have some definite adversity to overcome when it comes to one of their best defensive players in Robert Mathis. Let me take you back to May 16th. On that day, Mathis was hit with a 4-game suspension for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy. Mathis took the banned substance because he and his wife were facing fertility challenges. The glass is half full. That's the approach for the 2013 AFC Defensive Player of the Year.
Just go out, maximize the reps that I get. Kind of, as an older guy, kind of not that much different, because kind of limited reps because you're an old guy, that the younger guys get more reps, and it's pretty much status quo.
Before finishing with 19.5 sacks last year, the Atlanta, Georgia native's previous high for sacks was 11.5 in 2008 and 2005. So it was a dramatic season and improvement for Robert Mathis.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that guy back on the field. A guy that also plays on the defensive side of the football, a new guy to the Colts, that's Arthur Jones, and this guy coming out of Syracuse, played for the Ravens. He's a Rochester, New York native, and this guy should help with the run defense, which was not very good last year, 26th in the league.
It's just not me, it's the whole team. Every guy has to buy in. I believe in my heart, this OTAs, every single guy has brought it in, and guys who has pushed themselves to new levels, guys who lost weight, guys who just been really learning the game, and everyone's just brought in. It's a new start, it's a new year, and we only can go up.
Jones signed a deal worth more than $30 million over 5 years in the off-season, and he brings Super Bowl credentials.
That's right, and he's also coming back to play with a couple of familiar faces in Corey Redding and head coach Chuck Pagano. They all spent time together in Baltimore. Now, the defensive line could be an area getting good grades all season. That group is deep and talented. Corey Redding is back. He's been in the league since 2003. The Colts secondary looks to benefit from that experience and leadership up front.
Those guys down there, my hat's off to them playing cornerback. You know, I always tell them when we come in the huddle, man, you guys get them to put the ball up, we're going to take it away. So we just feed off one another, and with them getting the pass rush and us covering up our guys to allow them to get sacks, I think this could be a great unit.
The Colts ranked 13 out of 32 teams in passing defense last season.
Yeah, the pass defense was pretty solid, and I like those guys back there in the secondary, Vontae Davis, Darius Butler, and Butler, gosh, this guy, he brings it seemingly week after week. Much more coming up here from training camp at Anderson. We'll get, well, the fans' perspective. They really have a nice atmosphere there in Colts City. That's coming up as Neil Keelan, our photojournalist, has that story coming up when Back to Football continues. Back to wrap up our 30-minute special alongside Jason Penske and Christina Aguayo. I'm Drew Ammon. Let's hear from the fans now, as they have gotten the chance to be out there in Colts City ever since July 24th.
Colts camp, 2014.
Get players' autographs. That'd be kind of fun.
Oh, back there.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Thursday night, the nighttime practice, they'll be on the main field.
Okay, great.
Okay?
Thanks
Welcome.
a lot.
Glad to have everyone. Welcome.
Well, I've lived in some other cities that have had pro teams, but I've never been into it as much as here because I don't think I felt as identified with them as I do because I'm from Indiana.
Get your Colts beats, 4 for $1.
I don't know. I just grew up here. I grew up rooting for them. So we still go to the Buccaneers games too, but we like the Colts still. The Colts are our #1 team.
Have fun. We're going to make it happen.
I'm here because I love the Colts. The Colts are the best team in the NFL, and I want to get the autograph for the best player on the team, Mr. Andrew Luck himself.
Andrew Luck 2 years ago, which was pretty neat. He actually got a helmet signed, and then I had a jersey signed by him. But I always try to get autographs.
Matt, you're cuter than your brother.
Oh wow, thanks.
I'm thinking Arizona would be a better place to go. What do you think?
I'm outing. I'm looking for a good team this year. I'm looking for them to win Super Bowl 49. I want them to be the best team in the NFL.
They certainly packed the house during the home games at Lucas Oil Stadium, those Indianapolis Colts fans. All right, final thoughts now, and Christina, let's start with you. I don't want to put you on the spot as far as predictions. How far is this team going to go? But, gosh, you're talking about 2 years in with Pagano, 2 playoff appearances so far.
Absolutely. I really think they're going to have a successful season, maybe even doing better than they did last year. So, and I'm looking to see some of these rookies. Like, I'd like to see Dante Moncrief out on that field. He really stretches the field. He's a fast guy. And I think if he gets into the rotation, they're really going to have a very great receiving core to add to T.Y. and Reggie.
Yeah, I mean, so many options for Andrew Luck, because we talked about the deep receiving core. They add Akeem Nicks and so many different people that he can throw to. I really like the prospects offensively with Luck running the show. Defense, we'll see if that front 7 can really hold strong. And we've talked a lot about Dwayne Allen throughout the course of this show, Jason. He's going to be key because he blocks so well in addition to the way he catches the football.
Yeah, for me this season is about 2 words, Andrew Luck. There's going to come a time when Peyton Manning and Tom Brady are retired and not playing football, and Andrew Luck is going to own the NFL. And I think we're closer to that than we are his rookie season. I think year number 3 is going to be phenomenal. On paper, the team around Andrew Luck looks better this year than it's been in each of the last 2 years, and he is going to have a great year. My concern is the defense. Robert Mathis, he misses the first 4 games. That's huge, but when he comes back, can he have the impact he had last year? If he doesn't, I'm concerned about the defense.
No question about that. And the thing, too, about Andrew Luck is that he bailed him out so many times last season, and we've said it throughout the course of this show, Luck to the rescue. Perhaps he'll have to do that again during points in the 2014 season. Jason, thanks very much. Christina, thanks very much. I'm Drew Ammon, and thanks for joining us here on our Back to Football special.